Challenges at the U.S. northern border. The U.S. Canada border spans over 5,500 miles, making it the world's longest international border. Often thought of as peaceful and undefended, it still faces significant security challenges. Historically, the northern border has seen much less attention compared to the U.S.-Mexico border. Early 20th century policies were relaxed, and crossings were informal. Over the past 2 decades, new threats have emerged, requiring more attention from U.S. Border Patrol and law enforcement. While the southern border with Mexico is the focus of national headlines, drug trafficking across the northern border is a growing concern. U.S. Customs and Border Protection seized over 700 pounds of narcotics at the northern border in 2023 alone. Smugglers exploit the border's vast rural areas, using back roads, air routes, and even waterways to transport illegal drugs, including heroin and fentanyl, into the U.S. The opioid crisis, in particular, has driven demand for Canadian-sourced pharmaceuticals and synthetic opioids, which are sometimes trafficked via the northern border. The challenge is compounded by limited manpower, with fewer than 2,000 Border Patrol agents tasked with securing the border. From 2020 to 2022, arrests related to human trafficking at northern border points surged by 91%. These networks exploit the same remote areas as drug traffickers, moving vulnerable individuals into the U.S. under false pretenses, or sometimes forcing them into labor or sexual exploitation. Canada's large international airports and visa policies make it an entry point for traffickers who smuggle individuals across the northern border, taking advantage of minimal security at less traveled border crossings. Despite its length, only 20% of the northern border is covered by sufficient surveillance technology, such as drones, radar, and cameras. The remaining 80%, vast forests, lakes, and mountains, are difficult to patrol, leaving many areas vulnerable to illegal crossings and smuggling. Smugglers and traffickers know how to take advantage of these blind spots, crossing in remote areas where law enforcement is sparse. In some sections, only a few agents are assigned to patrol hundreds of miles. The U.S.-Canada border is the world's largest trading relationship, with over $1.6 billion in goods crossing daily and more than 400,000 vehicles crossing between the two countries. Yet, staffing shortages at border checkpoints lead to delays, disrupting supply chains and harming the economies on both sides. In fact, wait times at major crossings can exceed 2 hours during peak times, adding logistical costs to businesses. These shortages also leave entry points vulnerable to illegal crossings, as personnel are often stretched thin. An increase in migrants crossing the northern border, particularly at unofficial entry points like Roxham Road in New York, has created new challenges. In 2023, over 40,000 migrants, primarily from countries like Haiti, Venezuela, and Nigeria, entered the U.S. from Canada, often in search of asylum. These crossings strain resources on both sides of the border. While the U.S. and Canada have worked together to address migration, the situation highlights the need for a more coordinated approach to handling asylum seekers, ensuring safety while upholding immigration laws. So, what can be done to address these northern border challenges? Experts recommend doubling the number of northern border agents to cover remote areas and reduce wait times. Expanding high-tech surveillance systems, like drones, infrared sensors, and radar, could also fill coverage gaps in difficult terrain. The two nations already share intelligence and coordinate patrols, but more comprehensive agreements are needed to manage migration and tackle trafficking. Bilateral efforts to strengthen the Safe Third Country Agreement could better regulate the flow of asylum seekers. The U.S. should upgrade infrastructure at key border crossings, improving both technology and personnel deployment to keep trade flowing smoothly while enhancing security. While the U.S.-Canada border may not face the same high-profile challenges as the southern border, it is essential to address these issues to keep the border safe, secure, and open for trade and travel. Only through increased funding, better surveillance, and stronger international cooperation can the U.S. northern border meet the security demands of the 21st century. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.